Like to call the meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Belsley.
Here.
Dobb.
Yeah.
Hare.
Here.
Herman. Kaufman.
Here.
Newhouse.
Here. Pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no public hearings, nor are there any special presentations that I'm aware of. Would there anyone in the audience like to make a comment? Take the stand and identify yourself, Mr. Bright.
Bob Bright, 137 West Chicago Street, corner Plum in Chicago, Morton. My topic tonight is the Morton Pumpkin Festival, more particularly the Chamber of Commerce. They're asking tonight for permission to close the streets. They've known for months. They've already got stuff lined up. So I'm going to suggest prior to the first of each year, they come to the board, not a spokesman like the chief, but someone will answer your questions about the chamber. This is no longer what I call a community event. It is a big-time chamber event. When they started allowing Jefferson Street to be closed off, we lost parking. 3rd Street, Madison, 1st Street. They took over the big parking lot behind the business on Main Street. Parking's at a premium. When I said I lived in Chicago and Plum, yes, I'm in walking distance of the festival, but I got to put up with the traffic, blocked driveways, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, all day Saturday. No one looks at it from the perspective of the residents within that 8-10 block area of the chamber. Then last year, we're trying to go out on East Jefferson. I want to avoid the downtown, so I take Washington Street, only to find I can't cross Jefferson, can't get on Jefferson because the race is still on. So, now, Tremont, for example, that is truly a community festival. 100% goes back to the community. I'm thinking Mackinac is probably similar. The village gives back less than 10% of their net proceeds. They're making close to $500,000 a year. And the village is allowing them to do that. The school district allows them to do that. Now, I thought the ticket prices had been high for years, but for each $2.50 ticket, the chamber gets 40%, $1. Then they had the gall to say, let's set up a fund at the Morton Community Foundation so we can help the less fortunate go. You know what? If $1,000 goes to those that would like to go, 400 of that comes right back to the chamber. They got a good deal going. All these events that tie into the festival, money, 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 big time. And I fault you, the trustees, for allowing them to make this a chamber event and not a community event. It appears that the EDC and the chamber controls what goes on in this village, not each of you individual trustees. The tail is wagging the dog. Now there's 2,000, quote, volunteers. Do you think more than 5% know that they're providing all this money to the chamber and not to the community? You take the 500,000 divided by 2,000, that's $250 per person. It goes right to the bottom line. Now, in the past, in order to close the streets, I know they had to provide a certificate of insurance as far as the can walk for food or a food can walk, Blessed Sacrament. I don't know what you're requiring of the chamber, but $2 million is a drop in a bucket if something happens. Chamber has no money. Guess who pays? Morton residents, through the village and through the school district. They got all these assets. They have nothing invested. They got the sponsors that pay their expenses. Now, where am I headed? If it's a community event and you're going to allow it to happen, I suggest that a minimum 50% of the net profit go back to the community. And the suggestion is the Morton Community Foundation. I just think that you want to also consider maybe this October having a public hearing regarding the festival. I'm thinking you're going to find out there's a lot of people thinking it's too big and it's difficult to get around this town. Who does it benefit? The people from out of town. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Bright. Are there any other public comments? Would anyone in the public like to pull any of our minutes or our expenses that we're about to approve on the consent agenda? Would any of the trustees like to pull anything from the consent agenda? There being no response, could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second, Mr. Newhouse. Any discussion? Call the question.
Belsley.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Morton works very hard to keep the waste treatment facilities in compliance with state and federal regulations. But there are many things that the citizens have put into the sewer system that make this a little tough to do. On the other hand, we're well aware of the fact that there are fewer and fewer places where you can dispose of household hazardous waste. So I'm very pleased to announce that because of the efforts of trustees Kaufman and Newhouse, who have coordinated all these arrangements, we'll have the first of two opportunities for citizens to dispose of their hazardous waste liquids on October the 11th. Right now, we're planning to do it in the Fireman Fleet parking lot. Can I get a response from you, Mr. Newhouse?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. As most folks know, Mr. Kaufman and I worked together on the waste contract, and there are two opportunities during the life of the contract for household waste disposal. These include lawn chemicals, paints, and solvents, other kinds of things. And there's a list that will be available, and there's a list attached to the news release that we handed out tonight. But Mortonites will be able to dispose of all of those kinds of things on the 11th of October, planned at the old Fireman Fleet site on Detroit Avenue. There will be an identification check because it is restricted to Morton residents, but it will presumably solve a problem for lots of folks. And it will also deal with the loss of some facilities for old electronics, which now can be disposed of at the Grimm drop-off site or through this hazardous waste disposal day. There will be more details later and posted on the website, the TV sites, and elsewhere. And if people have questions, they ought to be able to have plenty of information and be able to get information by the information will be in the press release.
They can also call area Grimm's disposal or the village hall, and there's no limit on the stuff, so it's really a time to clean out the garage, the house, get rid of that, because in the next 6 years we'll only have one more, so we only get two in the 7-year contract. So we really need to clean this out because we do not want it in the creeks or our waterways. So appreciate everybody's efforts to make it a success.
I appreciate your efforts. Thank you very much. Actually, I personally am looking forward to being able to get some things out of the house. So this is a nice project. Village Clerk.
Just one item, Your Honor. Since the first Monday in September, September 1, is Labor Day, the meeting in September will be Tuesday, September 2nd.
Village Administrator.
I have one item this evening. I would like to ask approval to transfer $75,000 from the Water and Wastewater Depreciation Fund and $21,000 from the Stormwater Depreciation Fund to the Capital Projects Fund.
So moved.
Motion by Kaufman.
Second.
Second, I didn't get, who got Sam? Call the question. Are there any discussions?
Dobb?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
And that's it. Thank you.
Chief of Police.
First thing is just an announcement. I just got word that we got approved again and registered for the National Take Back Initiative, which is our joint effort with the DEA on the dropping off old and used prescription medications. We'll be doing that on Saturday, September the 20th, or September 27th, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And it is put up on our website. Second, in your packet, you'll see a letter to Mr. Laudermilk and myself regarding the Pumpkin Festival and the times of that. It's September the 10th through the 13th this year, and street closures are being requested by the Chamber of Commerce during this time, beginning on Sunday, September 7th, as they start setting up in and around the area. These are the same closures that we had last year and in previous years. And it would be my recommendation to the board that we approve these closures.
Motion.
So moved.
Second. Second by Newhouse. Any discussion? Call the question, please.
Hare?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dobb?
Yes.
Anything else, Chief?
Yes, additional street closure this Saturday, the 23rd of August. Muscles on Main, which had previously been done in October. Because of some conflicts, the head organization dictated them that they needed to move it to August. The request for that is the 100 block of North Main Street between Jefferson and Madison. We would close that off beginning at 8 o'clock, and it would be done at approximately 3 in the afternoon. I would
Motion.
recommendation on that.
So moved.
Second.
Newhouse, second by Hare.
Who?
Here.
Thank you.
Discussion? Call a vote, please.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dobb?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Corporate Counsel.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of Fire and Emergency Services.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of Public Works.
A couple of items tonight, Your Honor. First, I wanted to let the public know that there'll be a mailing sent to every Morton resident this week, most likely end of the week, Thursday, Friday, and it has information regarding our drinking water. Extremely important. I encourage everyone to read this mailing, ask questions if you have concerns or just want more information. At the bottom of that mailing is also an announcement of a public meeting we're going to hold right here in this room at Freedom Hall on Wednesday, September 3rd at 6 p.m. I would encourage anyone that has concerns about drinking water to come to that meeting. I will be here. Our superintendent of water treatment will be here, along with a representative from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. This letter briefly explains what we're doing within the water department as we work with the IEPA on a process to remove and prevent buildup in our water mains. Approximately 1 month ago, and with your approval, we began feeding a new non-toxic chemical, which not only enhances the water treatment process, but it also removes and prevents the buildup in a safe and controlled manner. With that, we also must have a good flushing program for this process and into the future. The reason we flush our distribution is for corrosion control, sediment and debris removal, taste and odor control, colored water, high turbidity, low disinfection residuals, bacteriological growth, and customer complaints. Our goal is always to preserve and or improve the water quality and the service we provide. Historically, we have used a conventional flushing program, which has been successful only because our water quality has remained consistent for many decades. This is typically when we open the hydrants without closing valves to isolate mains prior to flushing. As a result, adequate velocities in the pipe are typically not achieved. And in order to scour the pipes to remove buildup, you have to have adequate velocities. Our goal, in conjunction with this new chemical, is to flush the buildup out of the system, not just into another pipe. Fortunately for us, our consultant, Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley, developed the first hydraulic model for the village of Morton in the late 1980s, and they've been providing annual updates and services updates to the model since 2006. This model is a tool where we can provide fire flow and water quality simulations along with criticality and energy cost analysis. It is extremely valuable to us as it can efficiently model, manage, and protect our most valuable resource, which is drinking water. We can now use the model to build a new unidirectional flushing program, which identifies the general sequence of the pipes to be flushed, the sequence of valve operations, and the estimated duration of the flush. And this is done in an organized, sequential manner where we can basically flush water from a clean source, which is the plant, through a dirty pipe and out, working in one direction and one segment at a time. By cutting off the flows and isolating the mains, we can achieve the scouring velocities that are required. Prior to going to the next step, we will sample for disinfection residuals, chlorine residuals, and we'll also sample for turbidity to verify that the previous section has been flushed correctly. This is a lot different than we've done in the past. This new program, like many other things we do here in the village and historically we've done for the village, will be another asset management tool that will better allow us to preserve and improve both our water quality and, again, our service. With that, I ask tonight for your approval of a contract with Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley for the development of this new flushing program in an amount not to exceed $36,100.
So moved.
Second.
Tom moved. Sam seconded. Discussion. I think $36,000 is a lot of money, but we are pretty sure that's the kind of money it takes to do this thing properly. And one of the things the trustees do not want to do is take chances with the public's drinking water. Would you call the vote, please?
Newhouse.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare. Yes. Kaufman.
Yes.
My other item is in your packets is the Public Works recap for the month of July. That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Planning and zoning.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Village trustees, Trustee Belsley.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Dobb.
Nothing tonight.
Trustee Hare.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Kaufman.
Nothing tonight.
Trustee Newhouse.
One informational item, Your Honor. I observed it's apparently political campaign season again. And whoever your candidate might be, folks, or your party, please observe the Morton sign ordinance. I notice there are signs up in the village right-of-way, and we'll ask folks to please retrieve those and move them back to their private property. The right-of-way is that grass strip between the sidewalk and the street, or if there is no sidewalk, recommendation historically has been 10 feet back from the curb. The zoning officer will enforce the placement of the signs and may remove them if they aren't otherwise properly placed. So just ask everybody to help us follow the sign ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I ask for a motion for a closed session, I want to advise anyone in the audience that's interested that there is a high probability when we come out of that closed session, we will take some action. So you may want to stay around if you're interested. Having said that, could I get a motion to go into closed
So
session?
moved, Your Honor.
Second by Belsley.
Belsley.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Board of Trustees is back in session. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve a resolution that will authorize me to sign a memo of understanding to sell Farm and Fleet. It will allow council to prepare a purchase agreement. It will authorize the village to secure an appraisal for this sale, and it will authorize the village to proceed to secure zoning changes for the property. Could I have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
A second? Second by Sam. Any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. It's, we have an offer and a letter of intent to purchase the former Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Detroit Avenue for $2,035,000 by J. Kaiser Inc. Incorporated. And the letter of intent is for 60 days, and the purchase is contingent on three things I'd just like to explain. One, environmental testing has to be done, a zoning request has to be taken care of, and the village has to have an appraisal of the property. By state law, we have to get a minimum of 80% of the appraisal. And once those three things are done, then the closing can proceed. And that's really what I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Hare, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think we'll kind of wait for the comments. I appreciate Mr. Kaufman doing some work and the support of the trustees, and excited to move forward in the next step of the process.
Does anyone else have a comment?
We just need, as part of this, we direct the Plan Commission to schedule a public hearing in which we will be the applicant for the rezoning.
Would you call the question, please?
Hare,
Yes.
Kaufman,
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
The resolution passes. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
You got 5 parking lots.